balance, the elements of which I laid out in great detail in May of this year. This plan was developed and negotiated by my team and will be largely implemented by the incoming administration. That's why I told my team to keep the incoming administration fully informed, because that's how it should be, working together as Americans. This will be my final address to you from the American people from the Oval Office, from this desk as president. And I've been thinking a lot about who we are and maybe more importantly, who we should be. Long ago in New York Harbor, an iron worker installed beam after beam, day after day. He was joined by steel workers, stonemasons, engineers. They built not just a single structure, but a beacon of freedom. The very idea of America was so big, we felt the entire world needed to see. The Statue of Liberty, a gift from France after our Civil War. Like the very idea of America, it was built not by one person, but by many people, from every background and from around the world. Like America, the Statue of Liberty is not standing still. Her foot literally steps forward atop a broken chain of human bondage. She's on the march, and she literally moves. She was built to sway back and forth to withstand the fury of stormy weather, to stand the test of time because storms are always coming. She sways a few inches, but she never falls into the current below. An engineering marvel. The Statue of Liberty is also an enduring symbol of the soul of our nation. A soul shaped by forces that bring us together and by forces that pull us apart. And yet, through good times and tough times, we've withstood it all. A nation of pioneers and explorers, of dreamers and doers, of ancestors native to this land, of ancestors who came by force, a nation of immigrants who came to build a better life, a nation holding the torch of the most powerful idea ever in the history of the world, that all of us are created equal, that all of us deserve to be treated with dignity, justice, and fairness, that democracy must defend and be defined and be imposed, moved in every way possible. Our rights, our freedoms, our dreams. But we know the idea of America, our institution, our people, our values.
Get it out, Joe.
Uphold it, are constantly being tested.
Come on, Joe.
Ongoing debates about power and the exercise of power.
Come on, Joe.
But whether we lead by the example of our power or the power of our example, whether we show the courage to stand up to the abuse of power or we yield to it. After 50 years at the center of all of this, I know that believing in the idea of America means respecting the institutions that govern a free society, the presidency, the Congress, the courts, a free and independent press, institutions that are rooted, they just might not reflect the timeless words, but they echo.
Come on, Joe.
The words of the Declaration of Independence.
Get it out.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. Rooted in the timeless words of the Constitution, we the people. Our system of separation of powers, checks and balances. It may not be perfect, but it's maintained our democracy for nearly 250 years, longer than any other nation in history that's ever tried such a bold experiment.
Come on, Joe.
In the past 4 years, our democracy has held strong. And every day I've kept my commitment to be president for all Americans through one of the toughest periods in our nation's history. I've had a great partner in Vice President Kamala Harris. It's been the honor of my life to see the resilience of essential workers getting us through a once-in-a-century pandemic, the heroism of service members and first responders keeping us safe, the determination of advocates standing up for our rights and our freedoms instead of losing their jobs to an economic crisis that we inherited. Millions of Americans now have the dignity of work. Millions of entrepreneurs and companies creating new businesses and industries, hiring American workers, using American products, And together, we've launched a new era of American possibilities. One of the greatest modernizations of infrastructure in our entire history, from new roads, bridges, clean water, affordable high-speed internet for every American. We invented the semiconductor, smaller than the tip of my little finger, and now is bringing those chip factories and those jobs back to America where they belong, creating thousands of jobs. Finally, giving Medicare the power to negotiate.
My school schedule was packed. I had no time to practice.
I wanted to chase my dreams.
The most significant gun safety law
How they
in
gonna
30
cut
years,
Joe off?
and bringing violent crime to a 50-year low. Meeting our sacred obligation to over 1 million veterans so far who are exposed to toxic materials, and to their families, providing medical care and education benefits and more for their families. You know, it will take time to feel the full impact of all we've done together. But the seeds are planted, and they'll grow and they'll bloom for decades to come. At home, we've created nearly 17 million new jobs, more than any other single administration, a single term.
Get it out.
More people have health care than ever before. And overseas, we've strengthened NATO. Ukraine is still free. And we pulled ahead of our competition with China. And so much more. I'm so proud of how much we've accomplished together for the American people.
Okay.
And I wish the incoming administration success.
No, you don't.
Because I want America to succeed.
No, you don't.
That's why I've upheld my duty to ensure a peaceful and orderly transition of power, to ensure we lead by the power of our example. I have no doubt that America is in a position to continue to succeed. That's why my farewell address tonight, I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern.
Let's listen to it, Joe.
This is a dangerous and that's a dangerous concentration of power
Welcome.
in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people. And the dangerous consequences if their abuse of power is left unchecked.
Tell us what it is.
Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms, and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead. We see the consequences all across America.
He talking about himself?
And we've seen it before. More than a century ago, but the American people stood up to the robber barons back then and busted the trusts. They didn't punish the wealthy. Just made the wealthy play by the rules everybody else had to. Workers want rights to earn their fair share. You know, they were dealt into the deal, and it helped put us on a path to building the largest middle class, the most prosperous century any nation in the world has ever seen. And we've got to do that again. In the last 4 years, that is exactly what we've done. People should be able to make as much as they can, but play by the same rules. Pay their fair share of taxes. So much is at stake. Right now, the existential threat of climate change has never been clearer. Just look across the country, from California to North Carolina. That's why I signed the most significant climate and clean energy law ever in the history of the world, and the rest of the world is trying to model it now. It's working, creating jobs and industries of the future. Now, we've proven we don't have to choose between protecting the environment and growing the economy. We're doing both. The powerful forces want to wield their unchecked influence to eliminate the steps we've taken to tackle the climate crisis, to serve their own interest for power and profit. We must not be bullied into sacrificing the future of our children and our grandchildren. We must keep pushing forward and push faster. There's no time to waste. It's also clear that American leadership in technology is an unparalleled source of innovation.
Get it out, Joe.
That can transform lives. We see the same dangers of the concentration of technology, power, and wealth. You know, his farewell address, President Eisenhower spoke of the dangers of the military-industrial complex. He warned us then about, and I quote, the potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power, end of quote. 6 decades later, I'm equally concerned about the potential rise of a tech industrial complex that could pose real dangers for our country as well. Americans are being buried under an avalanche of misinformation and disinformation, enabling the abuse of power. The free press is crumbling. Editors are disappearing. Social media is giving up on fact-checking. The truth is smothered by lies told for power and for profit.
Okay, you
We must
stretching.
hold the
You're
social
stretching,
platform
Joe.
accountable to protect our children, our families, and our very democracy from the abuse of power. Meanwhile, artificial intelligence
Joe
is the
stretching.
most consequential technology of our time, perhaps of all time. Nothing offers more profound possibilities and risks for our economy,
Joe stretching.
security.
Let's listen.
our society, for humanity. Artificial intelligence even has the potential to help us answer my call to end cancer as we know it. But unless safeguards are in place, AI could spawn new threats to our rights, our way of life, to our privacy, how we work, and how we protect our nation. We must make sure AI is safe and trustworthy and good for all humankind. In the age of AI, it's more important than ever that the people must govern. And as the land of liberty, America, not China, must lead the world in the development of AI. You know, in the years ahead, it's going to be up to the president, the presidency, the Congress, the courts, the free press, and the American people to confront these powerful forces. We must reform the tax code, not by giving the biggest tax cuts to billionaires, but by making them begin to pay their fair share. We need to get dark money. That's that hidden funding behind too many campaigns contributions. We need to get it out of our politics. We need to enact an 18-year time limit, time and term, for the strongest ethics reforms for our Supreme Court. We need to ban members of Congress from trading stock while they're in the Congress. We need to amend the Constitution to make clear that no president is immune from crimes that he or she commits while in office. The president's power is not limited. It's not absolute, and it shouldn't be. And in a democracy, there's another danger to the concentration of power and wealth. It erodes a sense of unity and common purpose. It causes distrust and division. Participating in our democracy becomes exhausting and even disillusioning. And people don't feel like they have a fair shot. We have to stay engaged in the process. I know it's frustrating.
Yes, it
A
is.
fair shot is what makes America, America. Everyone's entitled to a fair shot, not a guarantee, but just a fair shot, an even playing field, going as far as your hard work and talent can take you.
You're on your way out.
We can never lose that essential truth, remain who we are. I've always believed, and I've told other world leaders, America can be defined by one word: possibilities. Only in America do we believe anything is possible. Like a kid with a stutter from modest beginnings in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claremont, Delaware, sitting behind this desk in the Oval Office as President of the United States. That's the magic of America. It's all around us. Upstairs in the residence of the White House, I've walked by a painting of the Statue of Liberty I don't know how many times. In the painting, there's several workers climbing on the outstretched arm of the statue that holds the torch. It reminds me every day I pass it of the story and soul of our nation and the power of the American people. There's a story of a veteran. This is a veteran, the son of an immigrant, whose job was to climb that torch and polish the amber panes so rays of light could reach out as far as possible. He was known as the keeper of the flame. He once said of the Statue of Liberty, quote, "speaks a silent universal language, one of hope that anyone who seeks and speaks freedom can understand. Yes, we sway back and forth to withstand the fury of the storm, to stand the test of time. A constant struggle, a short distance between peril and possibility. But what I believe is the America of our dreams is always closer than we think. And it's up to us to make our dreams come true. Let me close by stating my gratitude to so many people, to the members of my administration, as well as public service and first responders across the country and around the world. Thank you for stepping up to serve. To our service members and your families, it's been the highest honor of my life to lead you as Commander-in-Chief. And of course to Kamala and our incredible partner, the historic Vice President. She and Doug have become like family, and to me, family's everything. My deepest appreciation for our amazing First Lady who's with me in the Oval today, for our entire family. You're the love of my life and the lives of my love. My eternal thanks to you, the American people. After 50 years of public service, I give you my word. I still believe in the idea for which this nation stands. A nation where the strength of our institutions and the character of our people matter and must endure. Now it's your turn to stand guard. May you all be the keeper of the flame. May you keep the faith. I love America. You love it too. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you for this great honor.
All right. They taking Joe off? There we go. That was it for Joe. Joe is out of here. It just let me turn the music on. Joe is on his way out. Not trying to be funny or disrespectful, but Joe is on his way out of here. Good luck to Joe. And let's get the show started. Hit the road, Joe. I think you did a bang-up job. You think what y'all want to think. Welcome to Pontiac WYAC. We back in the place to be. I wasn't even coming on a Wednesday night, but I'm here. Do-do-do. Hit the road, Joe. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Joe. And don't you come back no more. What you say? Hit the road, Joe. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Joe. And don't you come back no more. Hit the road, Joe. And don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Joe. And don't you come back no more. Yo, what's up, everybody, and anybody that's watching? Welcome to Pontiac WYAC. We back here in the place to be tonight. I just thought I'd come impromptu because you know how we do, but I wanted to reach out and let's go ahead. Matter of fact, they just got the White House in the background. We'll keep that on. But I went on and sent a link to my buddy. He's out in Los Angeles. He's originally from Pontiac, but he lives in Los Angeles County right now. And I wanted just to reach out to him and to see if he could come on and if he could tell us a little bit about what his experiences is down in Los Angeles right now. I was just kind of looking over what was going on as far as the Joe Biden farewell speech. Most presidents give a farewell, I ain't gonna say a farewell speech, but they give a briefing. You know what I mean? They do a last briefing. He opted out of doing that. I think that's real disappointing to me. I think doing a briefing would have been very good for the country, not only just for the country, but for himself, for his legacy. But a legacy ain't nothing. It's all about what you do. I say a legacy ain't nothing. I don't mean it like how that sounds. A legacy, you you owe the people that. You owe the people where you can, the press can ask you some questions. It's a lot of things what he said in his speech I really didn't approve with. But it is what it is. Joe Biden term is over with, and it's just what it is. So hit the road, Joe. And don't you come back no more, no. But I don't want to be disrespectful. But come on, Joe did a bang up job. In my opinion, and it's hard pressed for me to really find a lot of bright spots in this administration in the last 4 years. It's just what it is. That's just my opinion. I'm going to open up the phone lines. If you want to go ahead and call, you can call. I'm going to go ahead and get the red phone popping and ready. Where is it at? I'm going to get the red phone popping and ready. Also, I might have my buddy, like I said, coming in, Kyrie Crump from Pontiac, Michigan, but he's in Los Angeles right now. I would like for Kyrie to go ahead and call if he can and tell us a little bit about what's going on in Los Angeles right now. He lives in Los Angeles County, if I'm not mistaken. So I gave him the number. Feel free to call in. Anybody that wants to come on the show, like I always say, you can come on the show. There's no restrictions. You don't have to be somebody quote unquote important to be on. You can just be regular Joe like me. No, not Joe Biden, because Joe on his way out. But I'm just going to tell you my synopsis on this administration, how these last 4 years been. Earlier today, I was able to watch the press conference that he had when he's saying that there was a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. And I watched that, and I really wasn't, it's kind of like this could have happened. The ceasefire with that deal that was worked out could have been worked out a long time ago. Why? Better late than never. I feel that, and I understand, and I appreciate that. Loss of life is never good. It's not war. Who want war? But these negotiations could have been taken care of a long time ago. And also the U.S. sending missiles it's a lot. It's a lot. World politics is one huge quagmire. But with that being said, man, I'm just, I will be live streaming the inauguration. I will see the transition of that and how that goes. So that's on the 21st, so we'll be on live during that whole time. If anybody want to call in or anything like that, they can do that. But if anybody want to call in and comment about what they feel about Joe Biden's administration these last 4 years, how do you feel about, Kamala, if she's, Kamala in the next 4 years, if you feel like she should run? I know the governor of California was thinking about running or having, getting himself together probably to run. I don't know how well he's going to do now with what's going on with California. I know also some fires and some things have spread to different places in California. I watched the Corey Holcomb show. The Corey Holcomb show is based out of Los Angeles. I don't know exactly where they are in Los Angeles. I don't know the lay of the land of Los Angeles. But I watched Corey Holcomb show, and Corey was talking about how Corey and his guest host, whatever, is more or less talking about how, Los Angeles is looking right now. And I couldn't even imagine it. So I'm hoping Kyrie Crump is able to jump on. I gave him the link. Let's see if he got it. Let's see what he says. He's at work right now. If I can give him a heads up. Okay, he's at work right now. So I don't know if Kyrie will be able to jump on tonight. I know California time is 3 hours behind right now. So, but yeah. So with that being said, y'all, a lot going on. We just talked some talking points right now. One of the things that Joe Biden said that I totally kind of disagree with is that right now there's a big pushback about what social media and the natural media is. Like, you got your channel 4, 2, ABC, CNN, NBC. And traditional news is actually losing at this point. traditional news sees that their foothold on spreading information and giving information is not paramount anymore. The main way that people get information is like through these wave lines that we communicating right now. You gather yourself a following, or you get yourself, some. You don't even have to have a big following. You can come and report the news, and you can report it accurately and on time. And I've seen that during this election, past election, or not even just during this election, throughout the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years, is how regular media is on the fence right now, because they see that they're late. I don't even see how newspapers, let me see here. I don't even see how newspapers even exist anymore, tell you the truth. Like, it's so hard, like printed media is so late to the game. Online media, you have to have a presence. Like, you have to, I don't know how the news CNN, all these people are not even getting their news from these places anymore. They're getting it from people like me or people that just be on the beat, and they report in the news. So what the government has and what they've been trying to do, honestly, for the last couple of years is really suppress internet. They're trying to suppress the internet, or trying to suppress people that have a voice to get to the people. And they want to do censorship, because I know a lot of you people probably have had your Facebook, said something or whatever. Facebook has blocked your account. You say the wrong word. If you're talking about something that's a little bit controversial, you can't talk about it, or you're worrying about your account getting blocked, and certain things like that. And it's getting to the point now that, traditional news outlets are very scared of basically, in a nutshell, social media taking over, and which it has in a nutshell, because now regular news stations, CNN, ABC, et cetera, are asking people that are social media influencers to come on their show. Like, I know it's a guy from Detroit here, Anton Daniels. He's from like around the way here. And he be on Fox News. Like, they call him, and because he's a social influencer, he brings the news, he brings it accurately, he brings his spin on it, of course, but it's pretty much accurate in a lot of the cases. He might have a spin on it, but also what another thing is that media, CNN, the newspapers, whatever, these places are supposed to be unbiased, meaning that when I was growing up, I remember the news, you couldn't tell if a news station supported a candidate or they supported bills or they supported things right or left. You didn't really know back in the day. I remember growing up in the 80s and 90s, you really didn't know where reporters stood when they reported the news. But now you listen to the news and you can tell if they lean right or left, or they're moderate, libertarian. Nowadays that's not what the news is supposed to be. So now they want to hinder or cut at the shoestring or at the kneecap the people that's on social media. You can't even really say certain things anymore. And so I think legislation tried to come through and break down the people that's doing social media. It's going on with this TikTok. I know it's a lot of different reasons why TikTok people want to ban, or it was looking to be banned. I know that in a couple of days it's going to be going up for a vote by the Supreme Court justices. Hopefully it doesn't. Maybe some regulations come upon it, but it's going to, TikTok. I think overall TikTok is a good thing. Maybe some regulations but it's a lot of people that have made livings or making a living. Everybody's not a millionaire on TikTok, but some people make extra $10,000, $20,000 a year, $30,000 a year. That's supplemental income or income. Some people probably make $50,000, $60,000 a year on TikTok. They're able to take care of their family. You take away 10 million incomes, 10 to 15 million incomes off of that. That's going to be detrimental. But I think TikTok is needed because it actually gives pressure to Facebook and Instagram. And in my opinion, I like Facebook. I like Facebook because it's intuitive and all that, but I think Facebook needs the pressure. So, and Instagram needs the pressure too. I mean, Facebook and Instagram are basically the same thing, but basically in a nutshell, Instagram was was copying TikTok. And that's why I think it's imperative to kind of cross-platform when you live stream and you're doing stuff like that. If you're necessarily doing Facebook, you don't need to have to really do Instagram because they're both the same. You know, your audiences are usually kind of intertwined. You can. That's just my idea that, you know, maybe you can put that energy, okay, use either Facebook or Instagram, but also choose another one because Facebook and Instagram is the same. It's controlled by the same people, you know. So I think TikTok is a good one. I tried that out. I know how to use it. I know how to work it for my clients if it comes upon down the way. But hopefully if TikTok is here to, you know, to stay. I know on the 19th there is a vote for it. But also when there's a vote, even if the vote comes up and it is said that TikTok has to leave, TikTok won't leave immediately. You just won't be able to download it on your phone. You'll still be able to access it, but it's going to slowly die out. You won't be able to get updates for it. You won't be able to, so it won't just like TikTok won't ultimately vanish, but TikTok, you know, so hopefully TikTok works and it doesn't get banned. But honestly, man, I think regular news is scared right now because people like myself, everybody has a voice at this point. We the people have a voice. We can have our own shows. We can talk about our own experiences. We can talk about the news as we see it. We can get the news out there as faster than any outlet out there nowadays, you know, and, you know, the news has kind of been handed into the power of the people. At this point, the press is the people. Everybody's a journalist at this point. There's no more, I guess, fundamental journalist, quote unquote, quite more, because anybody can be that. You know, all you got to do is have your phone live. You can be live reporting anywhere in the world. So as I look back on Joe's 4 years, I'm not impressed. I'm actually happy that it's over. I really am. I'm really happy that it's over. I didn't see a lot of things that I appreciated from him from the time that he took office to now. And I'm not just being critical because I want to be critical. I'm being difficult. I'm just calling it how I see it. And I could be wrong on some things, and I'm cool to stand corrected on any and all things if I'm wrong. But how I see it, there's nothing that really stands out to me about something positive that he really created or did. I'd heard nothing when he just spoke just a moment ago about accomplishments. That little press conference or this little thing that he just said at the Oval Office and just spoke about for, I think it was around maybe good 10 minutes. Joe didn't speak long, if 10 minutes, you know what I mean? Joe didn't say anything worth noting that you could look and say, aha, he did that. And it was a terrible presidency. Really, it was. It was a terrible presidency. If anybody could tell me different, I'm listening. I'm ready to listen and stand corrected, and maybe you could tell me something that I don't know. You know what I mean? But it was a terrible presidency, from my opinion. Soon as Joe, hey, look, it was a terrible presidency, y'all, for Joe Biden. It wasn't good. Everybody know that. You know what I mean? And the vote ultimately showed that. The first thing that really moved me the wrong way when Joe got in was the way that they pulled out of Iraq, and they left a whole bunch of, you know, equipment and hostages, and how that happened. Even when the girl that played for the WNBA, when they traded her for the Merchant of Death, they traded her. I'm glad she's home. I'm glad she made it back. I'm glad she's back playing WNBA basketball. I'm happy for all that. I'm happy that she's back with her family. But look what the United States gave up to get her back. They called this guy the Merchant of Death. He was a killer. You know, it's kind of like, you know, the people that had the option to really make hard decisions made them with a jelly spine. You know what I mean? Like, how was that? Why was that type of situation or deal made? So I'm happy that Joe Biden's out. I'm glad that, you know, old girl didn't win. She looked pretty mean. I'll be honest with you. Kamala been looking real mad the last couple of, you know, but I think the administration all jokes aside, I think that administration would have been more of the same. You know, I think it'd have been very soft foreign policy type of situations. Economically, I don't think things would have changed or would have changed that much or for the better. I think they probably would have gotten worse, in my opinion. Because, I mean, she said basically in a nutshell, there was nothing that she was going to really change. So now looking into the future, what I'm hoping to see is that this administration that's coming can help, help out what's going on with the California situation, make some legislation that, sometime, it's a lot of things that need to get done. We'll see how this goes, but it was worth changing administrations, quite honestly. So we'll see, but at the end of the day, the will of God will be done. But at the end of the day, I'm looking for things to be a better situation as far as economically, foreign affairs, wise, also immigration, so I'm looking for those things and economically mostly because, people been having a hard time. People been having a hard time, and I don't know if it's going to get worse before it get better, but, hopefully things get back a little bit better than what they are, at this moment. So my whole thing was this, you guys. I mean, I just look at this administration that just passed out of here, and I'm trying to stay abreast as much as possible at what's going on. You know what I mean? I'm just taking an account from how I see it and what I see with it. So don't be offended by it. Hopefully, you're not. But like I say, this is a free forum, and everybody can call in or get on and talk about what they feel like they want to talk about. I don't think Kyrie Crump is going to come in from Los Angeles, but I did just want to come on today for a little bit. Not long. We're in 37 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and hop off in a second because I'm about to go ahead and do some gaming on my YouTube channel. But you guys, be looking forward. I'll be coming. Probably going to be doing a show. Let me get in touch with Kyrie Crump. Going to be coming on and doing this. I'm thinking about, I don't know for sure or for certain that I'm going to come on and do TikTok. I'm thinking about going right back to it. But I'm liking the vertical. I'm going to stick to where we at right now. And sooner or later, you guys, I will be coming in the morning. Sooner or later, I will be coming in the morning. It's just these last couple of weeks have been very busy, but I've been coming as more often than not. You know what I mean? So I'd like to also give a quick shout out before I get off of here. I want to give a shout out to the city of Pontiac. I'm gonna put the phone line up real quick. If anybody would like to call or comment or come in, you can. Matter of fact, I ain't even about to put the number up. I'm about to be done. But I just want you guys to know that be looking forward for Pontiac WYAC to start coming in the morning sometimes, the morning show. It's not going to be a super long morning show, but, sometimes in the morning I got a little bit of time to be on for at least 30, 45 minutes. I know Mr. Gil Garrett, he comes on and do the Sun Slappers. So shout out to Gil for doing that and being consistent with it. It's hard to, hey, y'all, I'm going to tell y'all, it's very hard. Some people don't know, but it's hard to actually, for me, it's really not at this point, but it's something to get used to get in front of a camera and talk, or what you got going on or what you would like to see or your thoughts and your contributions, whatever it is you want to get on here and talk about. It's a hard thing to do sometimes. Sometimes people, they really want to do it, but it's hard to get over their fear or their comfortability. Me personally, I don't really too much like to be on camera. I like to work behind the scenes and do that type of thing. But it's a very hard thing to be able to get in front of people and talk, how you feel or what you got to offer. But once you do it and you start getting used to it, it becomes fun. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get on here, you don't know exactly what you're going to talk about, what you're going to say. Sometimes but mostly the more that you do it, some days you're going to strike gold too. Don't be getting discouraged because sometimes you might be on here and you talking to yourself. But you got to realize you're not talking to yourself, because the more you talk, sometimes you are preaching to yourself, and you you working it out amongst yourself. But somebody, you never know, that one person that might be listening might actually be getting something that they can use, you know. So if anybody, whoever is listening on between the platforms, because I'm on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. I didn't go on anything else, no Twitter, no TikTok. All I would say is, and like I always tell you guys, if you have something on your mind, do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. You don't really have a lot of time, y'all. You know, you really don't have a lot of time. We don't have as much time as we think. When you start breaking down life, man, you just realize, and I've just been realizing like the last year or two, man, like I ain't got like all day no more to be messing with people. We gonna do this or do that. It's not being mean. It's not being callous. It's not being aloof. It's not being abrupt. It's either we gonna do this or we gonna do that. Okay, we not gonna do that. I don't feel like doing it. And I got to the point to where now also I don't like doing stuff I don't want to do. I pretty much only do things that I really want to do at this point. And, you know, I'm happy with that, because a lot of my life I spent just doing stuff that other people wanted me to do all the time, just trying to be nice. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, man, I can't be doing that no more. And also, I mean, you know, there's some things that I do that I don't really want to do, but I got to do those. But things that I really have a choice and be like, I want to do this or I don't. And if I don't really want to do it, I won't. You know, it actually feels good to say, no, I'm not doing that. Nah, this is not how it's going to go for me. But what a good thing is that knowing what you want to do, but also knowing, like I told you guys the other day, is knowing what you don't want to do. So at the end of the day, you don't have a whole bunch of time. So if there's anything that you feel like you want to do it. If you want to get in front of a camera, if you want to start a podcast, if you want to start anything, don't let people discourage you. And that's the main thing for me coming on and telling you. Don't let people discourage you, and don't even let yourself discourage you, because a lot of times you will, and a lot of times you trick yourself. A lot of times you will trick yourself into thinking that you're not good enough or able to do it, or nobody. Don't do that. Somebody's always waiting on you somewhere. Somebody's always waiting on you somewhere. So I haven't played my game in a minute. So, I mean, you know, I think I'm going to go ahead and do some gaming in a minute. For real. So with that being said, y'all, you know, thank you for tuning in for WYAC for this little short moment. WYAC will be back probably in the next 15, 20 minutes. I'm going to make me a nice cup of coffee or whatever. And I'm going to go ahead and do my my game and my Michigan Dynasty. I ain't played the game in around 3 weeks at this point, so hopefully I don't lose. I might run 2 games tonight. It's a Wednesday night, and it's fairly early. I know you old folks go to bed in a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and run a game or 2, and that'll be it. But I'm going to do that live. And with that being said, you guys, I'm going to be coming back very, very shortly. Hopefully, my buddy Kyrie Crump is a native from Pontiac, but he's in Los Angeles County. I believe he's Culver City. I think that's Los Angeles County. And get his perspective about, you know, kind of what's going on in Los Angeles. With that being said, you guys have a good one, and I will be talking to you soon. Peace.